Hello and welcome everyone. This is my last video before I go on vacation. Okay, that was very clickbait. And so I decided to just make something casual, so no editing. So sorry if I say and stuff a lot, because I do that when I'm not editing my videos, which is why I highly edit my videos. And in this video, I'm going to just chill a little bit and play with this new VST synthesizer that I just found yesterday also. Wave manual. So let's just see what is its initial sound. Oh, that's nice. Nice little oscilloscope. Okay, so it does not display all waves that are playing, but just the the main waveform, which is cool. Because obviously, if you were to use an actual oscilloscope after that, then get this. Anyway, it's just a little bit confusing because you do see the amplitude drop in here. You just don't see the entire wave that comes out of the plugin. Anyway, let's go. Oh, okay, this is a drop down. I thought this was something to hold and drag. That would be cool. Okay, good. So let's just keep this on 0. So the workflow of this thing isn't very nice, but at least it's understandable how it works. Okay, so vibrato is the speed is not in frequency but in normalized value, and 0 is also a vibrato. It's not entirely 0 actually, and 1 is very, very fast. Okay, so that's understandable. I have a little bit of a problem with the way the controls feel, because when the mouse is made invisible, the cursor. So when a cursor is invisible, you would expect the cursor to end up on the knob after being made visible again. For example, Soothe. Oh no, Soothe is a bad example because it does not make the cursor invisible, neither on sensitive drag nor on normal drag. What was a plugin where that is the thing? I think maybe Serum? I don't know. No. Serum's also not a plugin where that happens. Maybe Vital? No, also not. Okay, so I'm kind of confused. Where were the plugins where you actually have the cursor go invisible? I don't have a good example now on the spot, and as I said, I don't want to edit this video, so I won't go search for one now. But typically you would end up with the cursor being at the same point again. Now let's see, did I install my own plugins again since I remade everything? Yes. So I actually made it so that you can stay on the same spot when it goes visible again, because then you have cool workflow. The reason why you would want to make your cursor invisible during drag at all is if you don't do that, then you can reach the end of the screen. Say going from here and then down. See, now I've reached the end of the screen, so I can turn the LFO knob even lower. So there is no benefit of having the cursor invisible if this is still a constraint. That's why you want want to make your cursor invisible, usually. And I say that even though a lot of popular synthesizer apparently don't do that at all, but I know a lot of plugins do, so and I like it more than when it doesn't happen, so that's just something to consider. What I think is what happened here is that someone told this developer that it's cool to make the cursor invisible, but they didn't say why. And so we ended up with this not finished feature that was not really added with a purpose. So now let's go on with velocity. Okay, so I don't have velocity now on my keyboard, so I will ignore that. Reverb. Okay, so now we hear something interesting. Sometimes it clicks and sometimes it doesn't, so that means that the phase of the notes is not always the same. We either have a random phase here or phase continuous, which is reasonable. But then I want to have a setting where I can change that. Okay, good. What is this? Preset. Okay, I don't want to use presets now. Log peak. I don't know what log peak is. Amount of voices. Okay, let's just stick to 5. Actually, let's use 8 just in case. What is this? Envelope length. Oh. Okay. So there is no decay and release thingy, or is it this? Oh, there is. So what is this for then? Okay, so maybe that was just one of these moments where the developer didn't know how to add parameter skewing. So they just said, okay, then there is a multiply function at least. That is one way to solve the problem. Okay, cool. What is this about, by the way? I don't know what that is about. Okay, filter. What? Oh, something happened. Okay, I don't know what I did, but it's cool. Oh. Okay, so this is the entire range. I see. It would be cool if oh, okay. So this is min and this is max, so that actually make sense. So no, it would be cool. It is actually cool. But I would maybe make it a little bit more clear with the color scheme what min, max, and range is. How? Okay, that's cool. So a synthesizer basically based on distortion, and different types of distortion. So now what I'm going to do, instead of using the built-in reverb, because I don't trust built-in reverbs of free plugins, I will use the multi-band container of Bitwig and only put the reverb on the mid. So I just know that it will not affect the low end. The note got stuck. Okay. Hello? Sometimes I can keep on playing, but I don't know if it's a Bitwig thing or a ROM thing or a Wave manual thing. Cool, and now on the high end I will add Fuzzploid, because Fuzzploid is always a lot of fun. Oh, I just noticed that there is an out button as well. I don't know what it's for. Release curve, okay. So that it's basically the shape of the curve. Oh, that's very nice. For this effect you should wear headphones so that you can hear it. Now we actually have to make sure that it sounds fine in mono by reducing it to mono. Nice. Okay, that's not the most innovative melody ever, and I do have some issues still with this sound. Okay, so one of the issues is that when there are note changes, then the release goes into the you know, into the start of the next note. And obviously that is because I chose 8 voices. So let's choose one voice. Oh yeah, that's much better. Let's go. So we see that the plugin has a little bit of DC offset or something, or maybe something that I did, I don't know. Could also have been the fuzz or so. So let's just try to get rid of that and see if that improves anything or even makes a difference at all. I think removing DC offset would also be a nice feature in the plugin itself. Let's remove all the post effects. Yeah, I think we can see that there is sort of an asymmetry here, so that there is more going on top of the wave than below. Obviously that's mostly due to the waveform and not so much because of the distortion itself, so to say. Oh, that's a nice glitch. Yeah, and I think most of the asymmetry came from my post-processing, so it's not really something that can be solved inside of the synthesizer. Okay, so contrary to what I said before, I actually added the reverb from the synthesizer because it sounds cool. Let's turn off this one. Okay, so this gives me a little bit of an idea. I put all the stuff in the chain. And so I can use an LFO on the high end of, you know, fastploid. Okay, nice. Maybe I should use another filter. Did I happen to install Rift again? No, I did not. The thing is, since I had to reboot my computer, I had to reinstall all my plugins and licenses. And yeah, I sorted this out already with the support. I had some problems, but I did not do that yet. So now I need a different filter to do that. I need a fast one, so I cannot just use ProQ, but I think I will just use the non-linear filter from Kilohertz. If that is the case, where is it? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so now I got a little bit off topic here. So now I actually tested 2 new plugins, if you noticed. Wave Manual is new and Carp is also new. The thing about Carp is it is a really small synthesizer, and all it has is this damping control and this decay control, and well, MPE features, but I don't have an MPE synth, so I don't care. And a cool looking UI. But it's also a very special type of synthesizer because it is sort of a physical modeling thing. It basically creates all its notes from, you know, resonances from impulses instead of traditional oscillators and stuff like that. And that makes it very similar to Chowkick. Chowkick is also a synthesizer where you can work with resonances instead of samples and wavetables. Boom, boom, boom. Which is really cool. You can easily craft your own kicks like that, and they will definitely sound cool. One of my favorite kick workflows. Okay, so my conclusion is about Wave Manual. The developer does not seem to have... I mean, on the one hand, it looks like the developer has made a lot of plugins already, because there is some stuff in here that is not standard, like these controls here. That's very creative. And I do like how they felt with the LFO, even though it was a little bit confusing at first. But on the other hand, it also seems a little bit like a lot of details could be put in here that would make it even better, like actually showing the values of the frequency of the vibrato, maybe adding tempo sync to the LFOs, including the vibrato, and actually adding 0 speed for the vibrato so that people can dial it in with an automation and dial it out again then. Maybe that would be cool. What else could be done in here? Yeah, I really like the different ways to shape the curve. That's a fun way to shape the curve, actually. And oh, I didn't even see that kind of stuff. What is this? Oi. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so that's some FM magic going on here. So there is a lot more to explore about the synthesizer than what I just did in this little video, especially when it comes to how to actually use these outer rings of the knobs and stuff like that, and what does this mean and stuff. Maybe it would make sense to actually go through the presets and get some examples of the individual features. Yeah, and well, what I really like about this plugin is that it has this approach of, you know, shaping the entire wave from distortion modules. And that's actually something that I would like to do at some point myself, you know, making a synthesizer that is based on distorting the wave instead of selecting a wavetable, because that's pretty cool. It's like crafting the sound from the most simplistic wave. Well, almost. I think it was a triangle wave at the beginning or something, and then going from there to something that is increasingly more interesting the more you add these different variations to it. That is just really cool. That's a cool approach to synthesis. I think Surge also has something like that. Oh, I just remembered I did not install Surge yet since I remade my computer. Going to do that. By the way, that doesn't mean that these plugins that I didn't install yet are not important to me. It's just I didn't have the time to do that yet, and I just installed random plugins from my list of plugins to install without a clear hierarchy or something. Yeah, that plugin is really cool. I like this plugin. I also like Carp. These are two very cool plugins. And now I'm going into vacation. It's going to the Netherlands, and there I will stay a week or something and will not make content. Maybe I will make one of these questionnaire thingies sometimes, because that's a lot of fun to just see what everyone is saying about certain things. I would like to encourage you all to actually make more comments on these, because I would love to actually have a little conversation sometimes. That would be nice, at least. If you have an opinion about some topic, then why not share it with everyone? And yeah, I think that's it for today and for the upcoming week. See you then, I guess.